Lisa, where's Shiloh? Where's Shiloh?
Calvin Castine, it's July 12th, 2003. Overcast but very pleasant Saturday morning at the moment. And we're at the Clinton County Fairgrounds for the annual Antique Gas Engine and Tractor Show put on by the local Antique Gas Engine Club. As you might expect, Clarence Baker is here. One of our great shows we did was several years ago when Clarence still had his tractor collection, and one of the great shows that we put back on time to time. We're going to roam around and take a look at some of these antique gas engines and tractors and find out a little bit more about this fascinating hobby. In fact, this right here is a gas engine that belongs to the club. It's a nice big engine, and it was purchased by the club, and I believe Clarence did most of the restoration on that. In addition to the old equipment, some of the dealers also bring down some new equipment. There's some Kubotas here on display, but gives you a chance to see what's new and what's looks like new.
Fran, Bushy to the registration booth, please.
Fran, Bushy! Earl Master looks like, huh? I wonder what that Earth Master. Painted like a farm all. We'll find out more about that one before we get out of here. As soon as we arrived, somebody came over and said, "Do you want to talk to the president?" So I said, "Mr. Bush?" She said, "Yes." But she meant Mr. Bushy, not Mr. George Bush. This is Fran Bushy, the president of the Champlain Valley Antique Gas Engine and Tractor Association, Incorporated. Fran, I remember it's got to be 10 years or so ago that Tim Lundcourt gave us a call. That Bob Venn and I we went over and did a story with him, and I think that was one of the first shows that your group was putting on. How long has the CVAGET been in? So is that how you pronounce? That's how you refer to yourself? Yes, the CVAGETA?
Yes, you could certainly shorten it up like that, Calvin, if you'd like. The club originated and had its first show in 1991 down in Westport, and we were there for 9 years. And then on the 10th show, that's when we moved to Plattsburgh.
So this is the 11th or 12th?
This is our 13th annual show.
Okay. That's not very lucky, you know. You should have skipped the 13th, went right to the 14th.
I know it. A lot of people do that, but nobody thought of it.
Okay, how far and wide do your club members come from?
Well, they come from across the lake in Vermont. They come from Massachusetts. Of course, we have a lot of the local people, you know, that are around. They come from Canada. They come from Western New York, beyond Messina. There's a tractor pulling association that'll be here tomorrow, and a lot of those people come from Western New York. They travel from downstate. Basically, sometimes a 4 or 5, 6 hour ride for some of them even.
And this is your only get together? Now, do you have meetings on an occasional basis, monthly or quarterly or whatever?
Yes. Usually around midwinter we start meeting monthly, the second Wednesday of every month, right here at the fairgrounds, and we have a building provided for us that other clubs and organizations use for meetings, and we go once a month with it and we get all the details ironed out, get our food vendors lined up, and all the details that require, you know, that are required to put the show on, decisions to make and stuff like that.
Does it get bigger every year? Hey, there he is. There's Ozzy. Ozzy Sweet has arrived, and he'll be getting out of that car very, very shortly, and I'm sure you're anxious to see him. Have you met Ozzy in the past? I know he's taken photos here of antique gas engines and tractors in the past.
I haven't personally met him, but I've heard that he's been here, and I've seen some of the work he's done. He's a welcome sight.
Yeah, he does calendars that are spread around the country, and he's now living in York Harbor, Maine, and we'll get him over here. And Shan Moore put a nice little picture in the paper yesterday of him announcing that he would be here, and I'm glad he was able to make it. I started looking to get a hold of Ozzy back in 1998, and I think that was the last time he went to that Westport gathering, and I was there. And it turns out we missed them, and I didn't know. I didn't start looking for them until the week after that event. If I'd called them a week earlier, I would have been able to get together with them then.
Well, good. He's going to find quite a few items here of interest. I'm thinking we've got a lot of nicely restored, shiny tractors. A lot of them show up here right in their work clothes too. There's engines. There'll be some antique trucks here. There's a couple of antique snowmobiles. There's really quite a wide variety this year. We have antique garden tractors, smaller ones. There's a lot of antique kitchen devices that were used in the homes, in farm homes during the 20s and 30s. It's not really just gas engines and tractors. It's a whole array of antique household items and farm items.
I know last time I did any type of a show on this, I talked to a guy who collected barbed wire.
Yes.
So I never knew there were so many varieties of barbed wire.
Right. Barbed wire became popular back in when they were trying to fence up the prairie and keep buffalo out and cattle in. And they found out that sharp barbs on the wire kept the cattle inside. And a lot of companies came up with all sorts of varieties of sharp barbed wire, and he had a really good collection of, he must have had over 100 or so samples of some of that rusty old wire.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to find when you come to an event like this. Now, do you have people who join who don't have a tractor or an engine? They're just interested in the hobby?
Oh yes, there are people that want the club information mailed to them regularly, like members do. But usually everybody that is a member does have some little sort of item to bring or display or something. We have about 125 or so listed members that pay dues regularly. And there's probably about 300 to 400 people that actually come and exhibit off and on. Some may be here this year that missed last year, but there's about 300 or 400, I would say, that in the past have been here at one point or other.
Okay, what's your address if people want to get a hold of the club?
Well, we have phone numbers available.
Okay.
From Nina Sullivan, myself, and Bernard Carter, the vice president, Clarence Baker, the treasurer. I could get that information for you afterward, Calvin.
Okay. Now, this gas engine right here we saw, let's stop for a moment. I want to get Ozzy before he takes off. Okay. Well, we chatted with Ozzy. Ozzy Sweet's going to be making his way around here. We're getting some pictures suitable for calendar covers and calendars. He does a great job. He worked many years as a freelancer for Sport Magazine, Newsweek, and you name it. We've done a 2-hour story on Ozzy already. We're going to be doing more of it as we're taping this on Monday. As you might expect, Fran Bushy is very busy, so we're going to let him go around and do his presidential duties. We were going to talk about a little bit more about this gas engine, but that'll be here every year, so we can cover that at another time. Meantime, we want to come down here and look at this round baler. This is a stationary round baler. If you drive around North Country farms, you see a lot of round bales now, as opposed to the old, well, now old but still very common, what we'll call square bales, although they're not square, they're square on the ends. This is a round baler. It's from the Ellenburg area, and unlike the big round bales that you see now, this could make little ones here. So we're going to try to find out more about this and talk to the people who know all about it. Okay, we found one of the owners here. Are you the only owner or one of the owners?
My son and I own the old stuff together.
Okay, what's your name?
Stanley Russell Sr. And my son Stanley Jr. is leaning on the fork there.
Well, you taught him well. He knows he's ready to work for the county now. You can lean on the fork.
Well, he's a union man.
Oh,
what can I say?
Oh, okay.
No, this is probably in the late 40s or early 50s. Alice Chalmers rotobaler. The original patent on these was back in 1910. And it wasn't patented by Alice, but they bought the patent in 1940. They made, I don't know, about 30,000 of them. They were supposed to be, the farmer could leave the bales in the field. They're one of the first balers made. They were made up until in the early 70s.
I've never seen one before, though. Were they popular in our area? I don't recall ever seeing one.
No, they weren't awful popular. But when we started collecting Alice Chalmers equipment, I wanted a rotobaler. And I had to look a long ways. This one came out of Rainy Fournier's auction.
And where's that?
In Swanton, Vermont.
So it was a local northeast, it came from Vermont then?
I think so. I do know where there's 3 or 4 more of them. But they're quite a machine. If it isn't anything you'd want to go out in the field and bale with, because if you don't get your windrows just right, it don't tie good. Of course, getting old, getting wore, like the rest of us.
Yeah. Now, has it got little wheels in the front? I don't see anything there. How does that... That just skids.
It just skids on the ground. You've got your rattle chain, comes right around. These flutes on here kind of push the hay in. So it goes back and it rolls up. If you'd like, we'll make a bale for you.
Yeah, now is this now we were all familiar with the new version of round balers, which makes those great big bales, yeah. But is this the standard size that they were using back then? They'd use them like they would a square baler?
Yes, they would. I like to say they're a forerunner to the big balers. And I enjoy it, just enjoy showing the old equipment. We have quite a lot of Alice stuff.
Now, did anybody besides Alice Chalmers make these, or?
Not to my knowledge. Alice was the only one that made the rotobaler. But they were quite a machine in their day. Out west they liked them because they could leave the bales in the field and bring them in to feed their cattle when they wanted to. We've left them out just to see what they'd do. And they'll wet in, maybe half an inch to an inch, and then your hay is just good as the day you baled it.
So very much like a round baler today.
Right.
All right, let's bale one up for me.
Stanley.
Stop leaning on that rake and fork and get over here. Okay, we're going to put the Russell boys to work here. Of course, it's already baled the old-fashioned way. Now they're going to unbale it.
It's easier to bring it.
Yeah, bring it loose.
I brought Pitlock a couple of years ago. I brought a big round bale in. There was 15 of these square round bales in one big round bale. You try to keep your hay going in full width, or you get a cone-shaped bale.
I say so. If it gets too much on one side, it doesn't adjust it. It just bales what's there.
It goes wherever it hits the rolls. There, she's tying now. See that thing just come down? See the springs going in. Now watch that. There, you get through it.
Yeah, they're down. Now these look a little bit lighter than a regular square bale.
Well, see there, just a little less than a regular square bale.
Can you adjust the size?
Yes, you can. They'll go from 40 pounds up to 100 pounds. When they were new, that's how they did it. I haven't freed up the adjustment because for show, you like to kick a lot of them out.
Yeah, and it's easier to throw a 40-pound bale than it is to throw a 100-pound bale.
And people just like to see it work.
Okay, where's your farm?
Ellenberg Center.
Which road are you on?
We're on the Star Road, or 190.
190.
We're just past the House of Prayer on the left. We have quite an assortment of old Alice stuff around. Someday we hope to have everything all in working condition. This tractor here is the main tractor we use on the farm. It's a 1939. Oh, wow. We buy all our feed. So we don't have to have heavy equipment, to make feed.
You haven't got big payments on your equipment?
No. And that one there is a 1937 WC. My dad had one just like it when I was growing up. And I wanted one. As a matter of fact, I have got the cultivators and my father's original tractor.
And you stuck a Massey Harrison on the end. How come?
Yeah, that's a good friend of ours.
Oh, okay.
But I don't care.
We don't like the green.
We don't care.
Oh, anything but green, huh?
We don't care what color a tractor is.
As long as it's not green.
Well, I'll put up with green.
Would you?
Yeah.
The son won't though. He doesn't like that green.
No. Well, we started out
We're
like
talking about Olivers then, right? That's the only thing I can.
like all of them.
the John Deere green is what he. Well, you know we.
Well, the thing with a John Deere tractor, when you buy a John Deere, you pay for the name. You know, and when you buy parts, you're paying for a name. With an Alice, you got to search and search and search to find anything.
Can't find the name.
It ain't there.
That's right. But we enjoy the shows. I haven't showed in about 6 years. It's been 7 years since I've been here, but because I've had some heart problems and
Yeah, you told me
other stuff.
you don't get cable up on that Route 90 there, so you said the only time you saw us when you were in the hospital, so hometown cable made you sick? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Got you better.
I wish that we could get hometown cable because you have some of the nicest shows.
Well, thank you.
You've been down to the Ridgeview farm a few times.
yeah,
I've seen
yeah,
it. And
yeah.
you did Tony Trombley, and
Yeah.
that's what really sold me on hometown cable, and I wish we could get it at home.
Yeah, we did another show. You know, Tony's got those John Deeres. We did another show on John Deere days, but with Gary Finney, because his father, W.W. Finney, used to own the John Deere dealership, and we had those maybe 50 or 60 old 8x10 photos, and it was a lot of fun to do.
Oh, that would have been.
Yeah. Where was the Alice Chalmers dealer in the area?
Would be Debbia Implements in North Bangor, and he's not Alice anymore. It's Adco.
Okay, but was that the nearest one when you were young? Your father?
When I was young, the nearest one was in North Bangor. I was brought up in Malone.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, my father worked some for the Alice dealer, Debbia not Debbia, Ward Lawrence back then. And I've always liked Alice. When I was a kid growing up, we had two neighbors that had John Deeres, and there was other tractors, and I always thought the John Deere sounded like it was skipping, but hey, there's nothing wrong with them.
John Deere man standing over here. Here we are pecking on him like that.
I've owned a couple John Deeres, and I can't say that anything bad about them, really.
Uh-huh. Yeah, but everybody's got, whether it's a Ford or a Chevy or whatever, everybody's got their favorites, and that's you guys like Alice Chalmers.
Yeah. We collect the Alice. My son collects Arctic Cat snow sleds.
Well, the nice thing about collecting the Alice Chalmers is you don't have to compete with a lot of people.
No, but they're getting where when we started, you could pick up old Alice's pretty reasonable. But now there's a few of them have seen us out with ours, and I don't know if they like the orange color or what it is.
Tell them to get a case.
I don't care. Hey, if it's out there,
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody likes. Something like this is...
Well, the important thing is not to let it go rust away on a stone wall somewhere.
That's right.
Save it.
We've got a tractor at home that we are in the process of restoring. It's a 40 RC Alice, which is the same size as this one. The RC was Alice's attempt to make a tractor to compete with the F12 Farmall. They took the WC frame. These two tractors both have the same frame. And they put the engine off a B or C Alice in this tractor. It will handle the WC equipment, but it's underpowered. And it would surprise you what this tractor will do. But we have one at home. It's a 1940 wide front RC. And as far as we know, there was only about 100 of them made.
Oh, wow.
There was only about 5,000 of these RCs made. And we have 5 of them. Well, between parts tractors, if we find an RC, we grab it.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So, but I also at home I have a 60 all crop combine that I'm going to get going. Hope to have down here next year.
That'd be great. Very few people under 50 years old have seen a combine in action.
Yeah, I just enjoy working with the old. Anything old. I really enjoyed when Brian Pitlack used to have the fall harvest day, and I am hoping in the future to be able to get something set up where we can have another one. because to me, I like to go and I like to have people come and see the equipment working. It's nice to come to these shows, see all the tractors and everything. Tomorrow will be a tractor pull here, but you see them, you walk by, it's sitting there. When you go by and there's a piece of equipment working, people want to.
Yeah, people stop and
they like to see it.
Right.
So we enjoy it.
All right. Thank you, Stan. And you're gonna have to cut those round bales there and recycle them too. I think.
We will be sending them through before the day is done. This hay will be so tired of being through a baler that it'll run and hide if it sees me coming.
I hope you brought a lot of twine.
We've got a lot of it.
Okay, thank you. Stanley Russell Sr. And leaning on the fork somewhere is Stanley Russell Jr.
Chair,
Sitting in a chair now. Okay. He's graduated to the chair. Stanley Russell Jr.
This is the rest of the Russell farm.
That's
My wife.
That's your wife.
Mary Ann.
And she taught your son how to sit in a chair.
Yeah, but she works. She works just as hard as I do.
Okay.
You know, we do this together. It's a family
You
sport.
can't run a farm with just the...
Well, I'll tell you, like I said, I've had heart trouble. If it hadn't had her to keep things going at home. Well, both of them.
Yeah, well, she's got to make sure Stanley Jr. works, right?
No, Stanley Jr., you don't have to watch him. He goes. But he works off the farm. Like
Yeah.
I said, he's a mason.
Uh-huh.
And you know that ain't easy.
So tough to find time to help out on the farm both, right?
Yes, it is. But he does help us. He helps keep things going. You know, if it wasn't such it is a family affair.
All right.
You know, and I like it, having a family that work together. You know, they used to say years ago when they had the rosary on the radio, the family that prays together stays together. Well, I say the family that plays together stays together too. And we all enjoy doing this stuff.
Great. It's nice when you can find a hobby that everybody's interested in.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I was glad to talk to you.
As is the case with most car shows and tractor shows that you go to, you don't always find the owners sitting around. Owners come to these things, they like to walk around, look around, and enjoy what's happening also. So there's a nice big John Deere. It's a 720, it's a 1957 model. And it's a local tractor owned by Banker's Orchards in Plattsburgh. It's a 720 John Deere right next to this Ford. And maybe we'll talk to some Ford expert and find out when the Ford Tractor Company and the Ford Motor Company parted. I would guess that probably these Fords were made by Ford Motor Company right up to the very end. To my knowledge, Fords are no longer being made as a tractor. And of course, this year, 2003, Ford is celebrating its 100th anniversary. Here also is a John Deere. Flip over the tag here and see what we can find out about it. Danny Sullivan from Morrisonville. It's a 20 horsepower 1937. And it's owned locally here, right in Morrisonville. The Clinton County Fairgrounds are in Morrisonville, so this one here didn't have to drive very far. Nice show going around, and cable viewers in the area are going to probably see two versions of this antique gas engine show. We've given it coverage off and on, as we said, since 1991, when Bob Ben and I did an interview with a few folks that Tim Lincourt had lined up. And Foxy Gagnon from North Country Cable is here also taking it in, so people will have two opportunities to see what's happening here at the Antique Gas Engine and Tractor Show 2003. You can win this tractor or $500.
I know.
I would think I'll take the 500. This one here looks like it's pretty well restored. Just needs to be repainted. And this 1948 Earthmaster, I got to find out more about that. Larry Mayville from Fort Covington is the owner.
his address. I'm going to write to him and see what he wants to know. Yep. Well,
Okay, we're going to look a little closer at this Earthmaster owned by Larry Mayville. What the heck is an Earthmaster, Larry Mayville?
Well, apparently it's a company, a bunch of guys out of Burbank, California, built this tractor to compete with the International A and the Massey Pony and the Alice G. And it's a bunch of guys that just got together, and they were made from 1948 to 1956. And the only one that I know of in this part of the country is down in Connecticut. And they also, company sold to a company in North Carolina where they only made 50 of these tractors. And this tractor only has 4 numbers and the serial number. So it does draw a lot of attention, and nobody's ever heard of an Earthmaster.
You're with the River Valley Antique Tractor and Engine Club?
Yes, I've been in the tractor pulling business since the early 60s, and which a group of guys took over back in 1980, and so we started up the antique tractor class again, so we call it the River Valley Antique Club.
Is that around the Messina area?
That's in out of Malone.
Out of Malone?
Yeah, we have 147 members, and we're having a pull here tomorrow. Starts 11 o'clock, and it's a good fun thing, and that's how these tractor pulling in this area started back in the 50s by these old same tractors that are here today. They're the ones that started the tractor pulling, and then of course the other club went to modified tractors and trucks and stuff, so 2 other guys and me got together and we started back up again with these antiques, so that's why they're getting so popular.
I can get a little more excited about an antique tractor pull than I can these modifieds. They're too noisy for me.
Well, that's true too, you know, and I mean, a lot of people like the noise and everything like so, but I prefer the slower class, and it works out real good.
Well, anybody that looks at me and says, "What's on your mind, young fella?" has got to be ready for the slower class, because I'm pretty old.
Well, I tell you, we're never too old, but we enjoy whatever you enjoy, you might as well like.
Okay, thank you, Larry.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All righty. We move on to this very nice looking Ford right here. It's their Golden Jubilee model, 50 years old as we're taping this. And as we said, Ford Motor Company is 100 years old this year. So apparently when they were making cars 100 years ago, they were also doing a little tractor business too. This is a very nice special edition Golden Jubilee model 1953 Ford. Right next to a John Deere B with the big pulley there, big diameter pulley, not very wide, a little flywheel. Maybe there's a pulley on this side. There's a pulley on this side. Pulley on this side, and you'd run the equipment off that, off those things. You could run your combine or run your saw or run a whole bunch of stuff off those pulleys with a big belt. Now we stopped taping that tractor because we were told we should come take a look at this motorized shovel right here. What's your name, fella, young man?
Frank Birch.
Frank Birch?
Yes.
Where are you from, Frank?
Long Lake.
Long Lake, New York. What's the theory behind this motorized shovel?
Well, what happens, see, I go to Florida in the winter and I felt sorry for people up here, and I figured I could make something that would really help them out.
If you can cut weeds with a motor, why not
why
shovel?
not throw snow with it, yeah.
That's a wonderful thing. Are you willing to demonstrate it, or
without,
is it self-explanatory?
Yeah, and really it's a little hard start in warm weather.
Oh, it only starts in the cold?
It starts good in cold weather. In warm weather, it doesn't really start that great.
You must have a lot of time in your hands to come up with this wonderful invention.
Well, it keeps me young.
Well, maybe people in Long Lake would buy something like that, but I don't think down here in the flatlands we're going to buy that stuff.
Probably not, no, probably not.
Are you packing up? You look like you're heading out here.
Yeah, I like to go early. Yeah, I'd like to. I have to be home for my home church for tomorrow morning, so I do leave early. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're just on your way out. We're lucky to catch you.
Thank you. Thank you for stopping.
All right. Say hello to everybody in Long Lake.
Will do.
All three of them.
Will do. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, he's heading out because he's got to teach Sunday school tomorrow. So here's a Frenier farm, Bill Frenier, 39 John Deere H. And looks like they use Red Rose farm feeds. Nice, well-painted John Deere B here. Very nice shape. Can't always find the little paper that explains who owns what in these things. Here's a case. A case, of course, now with merged with Farmall McCormick International Harvester. It's Case IH. This is what Case looked like when it was just Case. And they picked up the International Harvester business. They picked up a name that was well known in the area, Farmalls and McCormick's. Another Case right next door to it. Nice row of tractors here. This is just almost the same weekend, 11th, 12th, and 13th this year. It's almost the same weekend. They start bringing in the equipment, open the show up on Fridays. Saturday is your best day to come, because you do have people leave early. Most people don't leave by noon on Saturday like that last gentleman we talked to. But some take off early on Sunday or midway through it on Sunday. So Saturday's your best day to get here, but tomorrow and Sunday they'll have that tractor pull. There's the Gary Rivers from Katyville with a Model L. The Yellow Bombard from Saranac. 1956 720. There's a Farmall. McCormick Farmall, 1957. Dale Bombard from Saranac. You always have your Alice Chalmer fans, your Oliver fans, your Massey Harris fans, your Ford fans, your Ferguson fans, whatever. But usually the rivalry was between John Deere and Farmall. That I would think was where the tractor pulls locally got started. John Deere against Farmall. There's Christy Carter in Katyville. This 300 Farmall. McCormick IH Standard, Bernard Carter from Katyville. And you name it, you want it. All you tractor experts out there, I'll give you a chance to figure out what model it is. It's got some red color on it, so you know it's not a John Deere if you haven't already figured that part out. And it's a Farmall Super C. It's a 1953 model. And so we can figure out Robert Remchuk, it looks like, from Morrisonville is the owner. And this is what it might look like if it were painted up. This one's got the wide wheels on it. There's a Farmall C that hasn't been restored, and here's one that has been restored right next to it. So a before and then after again picture here. Continuing down the row, we come to this John Deere that's got some unusual gray paint on the front. next to another John Deere. This is an A. Not sure what the model next to it is. A is for the John Deeres, are just a little bit larger than the Bs, a little more powerful. And it's got doesn't have just a smooth little flywheel thing here. It's got like a driver chain. Another orange case. This one by Wayne and Diane Smith from Salisbury, Vermont. They also own Wayne and Dennis Smith, not Diane. Wayne and Dennis own this one. Wayne and Diane own that case, 54 case. This is a 68 Cub Cadet garden tractor. This is a McCormick Deering Farmall A from Weybridge, Vermont. Robert Bondeth. Next to this little wheel horse. A Farmall H. And not quite sure what the last name of that individual is that owns it. The papers are blowing in the wind here. There's another Farmall H right next to it. A Cockshot. And another Cockshot right next to it. This one a reddish color. It has yellow grill. This one here mainly yellow. John Deere 430 from Bankers Orchards. This might be a case or an Alice Chalmer, I'm not sure. Not sure what this one is. My guess is case or Alice Chalmers. There's that Cockshut again. I'm not sure if we have a paper on here telling us who the owner of. I think I've seen these in Malone at the ag fair there. And just to the side of us again, we have a Cockshut. These are here being a pulling contest. I think they got weights on the side, so weights on the tires. So this will be in the pulling contest for sure. This one's not here for its beauty. It's here to do some pulling. Not that it ain't beautiful though. Again, I don't seem to have any paper on these three to identify the ownership. But I do believe I saw these in Malone a couple of years ago at the Regional Agricultural Fair, which I believe, as I'm taping this, will be coming up in the coming week. Another John Deere B. Farmall MT8. Farmall M with a torque amplifier, Super M. And here's an Alice Chalmers. And Gene Chauvin, we saw him roaming around. He's got a Ford to show. There he is. Oh, getting his picture to. Oh, we got stereophonic.
That's the guy that owns that.
Yeah, I know who owns that thing. Yeah, I know. The tractor on his shirt looks better than that there, though.
That's for sure.
When are you going to restore that thing more?
Well, maybe next year. I just got done doing a case.
That's your case right
Down below.
down now?
A case. Tractor way
Yeah,
down, and
yeah.
Dick's case next. You know Dick Atwood?
No. How you doing, Dick Atwood? I'd shake your hand, but my camera would jump all over the ground. I can't do that.
He's got
Can't
the
do that.
case, and we both have the case tractor.
Atwood sounds like a West Shazy name also.
That's right. Yeah, from West Shazy.
And you're a case man?
Well, I grew up with internationals, but I like the case. I had one years ago and sold it and always regretted selling it, so I decided to buy another one. I found this one and fixed it up.
And case and international are together now, so it's
yes, and I guess Ford's been dragged into it too.
Is Ford? I didn't. I was going to ask a Ford expert here. I didn't.
New Holland bought them all out.
So when did they stop making? When did Ford Motor Company stop making Fords? Yeah, any idea?
About 96. Sure. I think it was about 1996.
That recent. I was surprised.
Yeah.
And apparently, I saw. Is that the 50th anniversary tractor that's yours? Yeah. That's the one?
No, that's not mine. That belongs to Mark Jarvis, isn't it?
Mark Jarvis, the Golden Jubilee.
Yeah, he's the New Holland dealer in Peru.
Okay. Well, apparently they started making the tractors because 1903, same time they started making the cars, apparently.
I don't know if they made the tractors then, but I know that's the Gold Jubilee of the Ford company.
Oh, so it may not have been the tractors too.
That's right.
Okay.
Well, I know the N series started in '39.
Yes, but they made the Fordson before that.
So I don't know when they started making the Fordsons.
I don't know.
I have no idea either.
Well, Gene, what got you into Fords?
The Ford, I have an 8N at home that my father bought brand new, and I restored that one. So I've always been in Fords. We always had Fords on the farm. But I like the looks of the case, so I did the case.
So you do the restoring. You're handy with that together?
Dick and I do them together. Oh yeah, we work together.
You're a team. All right. That to me is a lot of work. You got to know not just the paint job, but mechanical and.
Well, we learn a lot as we go. That's the way we get it done. And I had a problem the other day, and I got out my service manual book and did just what it said, and it worked, and I got it fixed.
So you read the instructions, and you can't go wrong.
That's right.
All right. Well, we look forward to this Ford being all prettied up next year, Gene.
I hope so. It's a lot of work, but I'm going to try my best.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah.
Good. Never know who you might run into when you're at these events. And that's why you got to be careful. I didn't see Gene over my shoulder there. I knew he was here. You start talking and say, "Wow, what a lousy looking tractor that is," and the owner's right next to you. You might get hit in the head with a crowbar. And that's what a John Deere sounds like.
39!
39 John Deere. That's the Russell family didn't. Mr. Russell, I think, said he wasn't quite sure how a John Deere. He didn't like that John Deere sound, but for those of us who who grew up with John Deere's, it was a sound we grew very accustomed to very quickly. And we're continuing down this road with some more Farmalls, McCormick Cub, Farmall Cub. And of course, you think of the Cub Cadet, which came out of Farmall and became their own division later, but their own company. But I would assume that the Cub tractor division got into the lawnmower division, and the rest is history. Now we got some garden tractor folks down here, sitting with their Cub Cadet, and looks like a Case Colors and another one, and a Massey Ferguson. That's a name we haven't heard yet. And of course, there's always tractors on the move when you come to this. So if you bring the little ones, hang on to their hands, but the older ones can roam around. That's a Farmall. Particularly when those gas engines start revving up. Appears like some of the folks here have come prepared to camp right here. We see not only campers but tents set up. Beautiful sunny day. Here's some tools on display and some gas engines. That's what they mean when they talk about a gas engine. We saw that big one when we first came in. And this club started out as primarily a gas engine club. And they got into the tractors, and now they've got a variety of related items that are on display. And it's nice when the people have a hobby and they're willing to actually look forward, I imagine, to sharing their hobby with people. I think they ask a $3 donation when you arrive. I got to pay for being here. I would guess that if you put something on display, you got to pay $1 or $2 to display your item. But obviously, the Clinton County Fairgrounds has expenses, so the Gas Engine Club has to rent the facilities here. So when you come and enjoy what they have, of course they have food on sale, so you can come and spend the day. A very pleasant way to spend the day. Repair service on the job. It's New Holland Baler being repaired on site. Come to the big show, and the baler doesn't work. And Mr. Boyer working on it. More Cub Cadets, a little Ford garden tractor. Here's a the son of Ford here, Ford's son. Not sure if I've ever seen a Ford son before. Son of Ford. Look at this, iron wheels. You know darn well there weren't too many paved roads when this little buggy was in its prime. The highway superintendent might get a little mad at you if you went down the road too many times with that little buggy today. Different vehicles, different states of repair. Some looking better than they did when they came off the showroom floor. Then there are things that makes you wonder what they are. Looks like it's motorized. Alright, we're taping here, so somebody better start talking to me real quick. We're having a version of Family Feud here. Nobody wants to talk to the guy with the camera. What's your name, young man?
Ray Cody.
Ray Cody?
Altona.
Altona Ray Cody. Okay, what the heck are we looking at here, Ray?
That's a standard twin tractor. 2-cylinder.
Standard twin tractor. That doesn't look like a tractor to me now.
Oh, yes, it is. You get behind it, you know it is. You want to hear it run?
Well, before we do that, I want to hear about it. What would you do with this? You get behind it kind of like you would this. Instead of getting behind your mule, you get behind this, right?
Right. It's got a cultivator on it now. It has a garden plow with it and a set of discs that goes with it.
So it's very versatile.
And there was a lot of other attachments that I don't have anymore.
Any idea what year this would be?
I don't really know. Probably older than I am, but maybe not.
Well, it's pretty old, but it'd have to be real old to be older than you, though, wouldn't it? Yeah. No, actually, I would think it possibly close to the turn of the century. You know, would have replaced the horse, of course. Yeah. They could have replaced the horse in the 20s and 30s, also. So I don't know. So where'd you get it?
Got in Ticonderoga had that. I bought it from him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Want to start it up? Is it real loud?
Yeah, there's no more fire. Not really loud, but.
You gotta crank it, start it?
Yep.
Okay. You gotta crank it just like the old Model Ts here. I see you're pretty good at getting your wrist out of the way. You're not afraid of it, are you?
No.
There you go. Sounds like a lawnmower.
Want to try it?
No, not that brave.
It'll give you a workout.
I imagine it's tough to hang on to. You follow that around the field for a while.
Pretty heavy.
I would think you wouldn't want to go out and do 20 acres with this. This is probably for a garden mainly, wouldn't you? Well, it's a nice item. It's a unique item. And did you tell us what company made it?
Standard Twin, the name of the company.
Standard Twin. Okay, so it wasn't a name, you know, John Deere or Farmall or anything like that. Got the tag. Might even have a date on there somewhere.
No, I don't see
No?
any. I haven't seen any. Got a serial number. I suppose somebody could look it up.
All right, look it up and I'll be back next year to find out. Okay? All right, we're going to find out what year this is next year.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Where'd the boss go? She took off?
Took off.
She ran in to make me. She made me a sandwich. That's where she's gone. Thanks. I don't think she's coming out. Okay, they have a few other items here. An engine on a wagon, a little black engine, and this very interesting little contraption. It looks like it can go through the swamp or the snow. It's got that Alice Chalmers type of orange. I told them to study up on all this stuff, and next year we're going to have a quiz to figure out what this nice looks like truck tires on the back. So early version of a four-wheeler or skidoo combination here. Some kind of skidoo here. And everywhere you look, there's interesting items. Different collections, and some people are selling items. I'm not quite sure if any of these are for sale. And there's some t-shirts available over here and other knickknacks. So a lot of ways to occupy your time when you come here to this antique gas engine show. Remember the dates, second weekend in July every year. Looks like they're going to go for a little wagon ride here. I'll hook up the old John Deere to the wagon and go for a ride. Not only pinning it to the drawbar, they're wrapping a chain around it. Oh, look at that, look at that. Folks are jumping on. Everybody wants to go for a ride. Folks are running down, bring the kiddies. Hang on. No matter how many times I jumped in a wagon to go throw bales out in the field somewhere, I always enjoyed the ride there and back. It looks like those folks are all enjoying it. Another one with a turned over sign here. And it's Randy Darr from Morrisonville with an Alice Chalmers C. If you attended the show that they used to have in Westport and wonder what happened to it, now you know. It's here at the Clinton County Fairgrounds. You never quite know what you're going to see. There's a skeleton of a guitar. Never quite know what you're going to see when you turn around. There's all kinds of interesting items. And as we said, people selling their wares, so you might actually go home with something that you've never seen before in your life. There's an old washing machine up here. And behind it a scale. It's a Maytag, so we know it's still running. Obviously, repairman has never touched this one. A wringer washer. My mother slaved over a wringer washer for far too many years. Even have some tricycles. Some usable and some not quite usable. Hey, here comes that a little tour bus. They're still waving, they're still enjoying themselves. This item here, I think we saw one of those restored when we did our show with Clarence Baker. Farm Hall. Here's some gas engine running, looks like it's doing the laundry. Still working on that baler. Yeah, doing the laundry or mixing beverages here, I'm not sure. Throw your clothes in the barrel and get the gas engine running. Better than beating your clothes against the rock down by the brook, I guess. And gas engines were used for a variety of purposes. There's an old emery wheel. This emery wheel is run by a gas engine. I don't think you need all that power to run that emery wheel, but that's what you're doing with it. I'll probably be hollered at by the gas engine aficionados for not devoting more time to the gas engines. We've done the gas engine story in the past. I just wanted to come and give you a flavor of what's happening this year and leave some stuff to be told next year or the year after. Looks like he's trying to lose a finger, I guess. That is not part of the show. They're right next to the Clinton County Airport. And a few years down the road, that airport will no longer be part of the show here. They'll be moving on. As you can see, there's at least a couple more rows that we haven't gone down. And we haven't shown you everything in every row. We thought we'd come do about an hour's worth of taping. And that's what we have done. At this moment we have 59 minutes and 47 seconds worth of tape. If you're interested in joining the club, give Fran Bushy a call. Or if you're just interested in more details. And if you're looking for something to do in mid-July next year, we highly recommend that you consider this. This is a busy weekend. The Mayor's Cup is in Plattsburgh is rounding down. The Tupper Lake Woodsman Days are going on. This afternoon we are heading for a once-in-a-lifetime 50th anniversary remembrance of the Korean War at the VFW. So a lot of things to occupy your time in the North Country. If you just look around, you're bound to find something interesting. I went to the Tupper Lake Woodsman Days 5 years ago and haven't been able to get back there since because there are just so many things going on in our own backyard that keep us occupied. So we hope you found our little program interesting. We apologize to all the people we didn't talk to, all the gas engines and tractors and what have yous that we didn't look at. But we'll plan on being back here next year. So thanks for watching, and for those of you supporting Hometown Cable's efforts, this is a look at the 2003 13th Annual Antique Gas Engine and Tractor Show at the Clinton County Fairgrounds. Beautiful downtown Morrisonville.